what you're trying to do is get the community to buy from you. You want the community to support you. What are you doing to support the community?
Let me ask you a question. Did you come here to listen to money or make it? This is L.A. Williams, the Blind Master. And Sean V. Bradley and I came here for one reason and one reason only. That's to fill your pockets with money. Now how we gonna do it? By giving you the secrets, techniques, and strategies for you to stop losing and start winning at this game called automotive professional sales.
Hey everybody, this is Sean V. Bradley, president of Dealer Synergy and the creator of the Millionaire Car Salesman Facebook group, the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast. Man, making dreams come true. What's up, people? I got a special guest, my man David Gutierrez. He's from Easy Honda in Houston, Texas. And it's okay, people. I verified that he's not a Dallas Cowboys fan, so he's okay to bless the airwaves up here. So what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing very, very well. I'm impressed. I obviously got briefed on your story, and so let's talk about this. How did you hear about the show? How did you hear about the group?
Okay, I have a friend who introduced me to the show probably a couple months ago. And ever since, probably just every morning, on the way to work, I listen to the podcast every single morning, and I train every single morning all the time. So that it just helps me out a lot, listening to it on the way to work.
Okay, so you started by somebody put you on to the podcast. Are you in the Millionaire Car Salesman Facebook group?
Yeah, I'm in there. I'm in the Facebook group. I should be.
I have like almost 30,000 people. It's kind of hard. You know what I mean? So you're sideways now. You got to put your camera back. There you go. You're good. All right. This is funny as hell. All right. So David, which did you get value from, the Facebook group itself or the podcast, or both? I'm trying to understand.
I listen to the podcast every single morning. So the podcast really helped me out every morning. I've listened to a bunch of episodes.
That's what's up. So what was the first episode that turned you out there? You're like, damn, this is good, man. I could use this. What do you remember? What episode that was?
You guys, interview. I think it was like Ali
Retta, right?
Yeah, Ali Retta.
Yeah. So what? Let's talk about that. This is a man that made $1.6 million selling Chevys and Cadillacs. Yeah, that's crazy, right?
Yeah. When I seen the interview and I listened to every podcast after that. I mean, it's crazy.
Now, would you say that why do you think it's valuable? Because it's legit information, or it's realistic information, or what you learned you could use. So talk to the audience. Why do you feel that the podcast is so valuable to you?
Oh, yeah, the podcast. I mean, all the information that was on the podcast, it was really valuable. It helped me out. I use it every single day. And I get, like I said, in the mornings, it would help get my mindset right. Every single day on a podcast, I got to hang around, like you say all the time, hang around the different people, the environment and everything. It just created that environment for me and get ready for my mindset to hit to work.
Okay. So if you can, I know we didn't plan this, so I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you could think of one or two things that you learned from the podcast that worked or helped you become successful, or that you use every day, what would you say are the couple things that you learned from the podcast that you utilize or helped you become successful?
A lot of things that I used like recently. You guys had an episode with the AI, like the Chat GPT, and I started using Chat GPT a lot just to respond. And then a lot of bomb videos like you guys have. I don't have that on my store. But I started creating like a lot of videos like that too, just to send over to clients messages and stuff.
Okay, so let's go to the first one. You've had some positive results utilizing the AI stuff and the Chat GPT.
Yeah.
So give us an example. So how do you use Chat GPT, and how have you had a positive reaction from your prospects?
I mean, it's pretty easy. I mean, in my system, the CRM, I just send over automatic message to a bunch of clients, hot prospects, the people that we're contacting. I send over email, just one quick email to everybody. Whoever responds, I get back with them. If I need a response, I need help responding, I just copy and paste the message onto the AI. And it just responds on Chat GPT.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah. And I could say, just, hey, narrow it down, less robotic, less anything, whatever you need.
So you're talking about, so what he's talking about, audience, is the tone and inflection. So when you use Chat GPT, you could have it respond in different ways, whether it is, humor, or it's more direct, or it's more informal, or you could even put, respond at a 6th grade level. You know what I mean? Or what have you. So you make it simple.
Like that. Yeah.
Have you ever used Chat GPT to like if somebody's looking at a Honda Accord, you go to Chat GPT and say, yo, explain why the Honda Accord is the best vehicle, and that'll get them to respond with wanting to make an appointment. You ever try stuff like that?
Yeah. I've done it. I've done it just like that, and I gotta persuade them to come in and everything just like that.
And you're like, damn, this works. Right?
Yeah, and it works. It works, and they reply perfect every single time, and it brings them in. They close the deal. I mean, it helps out every time though.
Man, Dad, I'm gonna tell you, this is one of the reasons why we're the number one podcast in the automotive industry, like for real. And what's crazy is automotive could be detailing, could be mechanics, could be retail, but for out of all the podcasts out there, we are number one for the education information for automotive professionals, managers, and dealerships. You know what I mean? And this is why, because this shit works. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody wants to listen to podcasts if it don't work. You know what I mean? Like, why am I wasting my time? This ain't fiction. This is like real life stuff. So that's what's up. Now tell me, what do you like about the Facebook group, the Millionaire Car Salesman Facebook group?
I mean, on there, you guys post, you guys post the videos, the podcast. So everything is just educating me. I like to be educated every single time. I like to learn. I like to train. So everything, I like to observe all that information that you guys have.
That's what's up. All right. So let's jump into this now. So tell us, you look really young, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to ask for ID and stuff like that, but I'm assuming that you're at least 18. Tell us a little about your background. Where are you from? How did you get into the car industry, and what type of success have you had in the short time you've been in the automotive industry?
Yeah, I've worked, I was actually born in Mexico and I live in Houston right now. I was born in Mexico and I got here around like probably 8, 9 years old.
Mm.
And then, right as soon as I got here, I mean, my dad, he met somebody who was in the automotive industry. Ever since, he's been in the automotive industry, but he's always been like in the service department, like porter or like detail. You know, like you said, the automotive industry is everywhere. You know, so he was always on that side. He was never on the sales. I remember when I was like in 2021, I had lost my job because of COVID, and my dad was like, "Hey, I know somebody who just opened up a dealership. He needs a porter. He needs somebody just help around, you know?" So in 2021, I had lost my job. I went over there. I talked to my dad's friend who owns a dealership right now in Houston, and he was like, "Hey, I need a porter. I need you to move around the cars. I need you to detail cars, whatever I needed to do." So I worked with him for like a year, and he taught me a lot about the industry, and I did all sorts. I did everything for him. I just never sold cars though. I never sold cars. It wasn't until July 2022. July 2022, he kind of started getting more people, so he didn't need me to be a porter. And he was like, "Hey, I need you to sell cars." So I mean, at the moment, I just sold cars. I remember I had my finance guy. He was the train. It was just the finance. I would do the financing. It was like a mom and pop shop, so it was like a in-house financing, kind of banks here and there. So then I sold cars for him for like maybe like 2-3 months until like I kind of realized like I didn't like the pay. Like I was kind of the pay wasn't good. Like he was promising me a lot of stuff that wasn't being promised, you know?
Yeah.
So after like 3 months, I sold a couple cars with him. I sold probably like 10-15 cars a month with him. And then I moved on. I called my dad, and my dad had somebody else who was working at Honda. I went to Honda. I started probably like September, and I started my first day. You know, I had something to prove to Honda. I had to tell them I could sell cars and everything. My first day, I ended up selling a car that day. I brought somebody from Offer, and I sold them a car that day. And then I had like 12 cars that month, and then I had the rest of the year. I had to go. I had to keep training. I had my daughter in December.
Oh, congratulations!
So thank you, sir. I had my daughter. She was off. I had to be off work for a couple of weeks in December. So I wasn't doing much. It wasn't until January 2023 where I came back, and I had to change my mindset. I had to focus up, and I had to start training a lot. And I had my daughter now, so like my mindset changed. Everything helped. You know, it was like a blessing, really. And then after that, I started training. I had a couple mentors that would help me out. A couple mentors helped me out a lot, and I started training a lot. I started listening to podcasts, started watching YouTube videos, started training. And then I've been able to sell pretty much like over 20 cars ever since. I've been top sales at the dealership at the pre-owned side for about like 6-7 months now. And I want to keep going on the journey. It's been really helping me out.
Okay, so you sell more than 20 cars a month. You have pretty much about a full year now, like on the sales side of things.
Yeah.
And you broke six figures this year, right?
Yes, sir. My first time ever. Yes. Yeah,
how old are you?
23.
You're 23 years old. And I have two daughters that are in the business. I don't know if you know that. One of them is my one daughter just turned 23, like literally a couple weeks ago, and she works at a Kia dealership. And I am so proud that she sells cars because she's an entrepreneur. She makes her own money and she's crushing it. But that's a big thing. Forget about, let's get back into, in a couple of minutes, I want to talk about you being born in Mexico. I don't give a shit what country you're from, but to be 23 years old and make six figures without selling crack is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's actually crazy. I'm able to, change my whole family. I'm able to take care of them. They're able to be taken care of. How
old were you when you came over from Mexico?
I was about 8 years old, and 9 years old.
So you remember Mexico and everything like that, right?
Yeah, I remember Mexico and everything.
So what was life like for you and your family in Mexico?
It's like a third world country. It's like, I wasn't in the good side of Mexico. So I was born over there, and it was bad. I mean, the news, everything they say on the news is bad. The economy was bad. Everything was bad. It still is. And then
did you guys have money? You guys were struggling?
We were pretty much struggling. Yeah, I had to we had a roof over our head. We had food and everything, but that's it. Like, we didn't have much else. We didn't have, much transportation, much anything.
So, and your father sounds like a very hard worker, right?
My father, yeah. My father was the one that he's the one that came over here to the States and decided to bring us over there, for better opportunities, but better everything.
Did you or your father ever think that in 1 year you'd make $100,000?
No, not at all.
So,
my dad's been in the industry for about like I said, over 10, 20 years, and
how proud of you is he? How proud of you?
He's really proud. He's really proud.
Yeah, he should be, because that's big. You know what I mean? The fact that there's so much bullshit that we have to deal with in this country, especially, being a minority, especially being an immigrant. I'm neighbors, brother. I'm Honduran and Belizean. So I'm right there in the middle of you guys. Yeah, for sure. My dad was born in Belize. So I'm first generation. I'm from New York. So again, I know what it's like. It's definitely not easy, to be able to do that. So I'm going to tell you right now, in front of all these people, you should be very, very proud of yourself, because the system is not designed to allow people like you and me to win. You know what I mean? It happens, but it's like the fucking Hunger Games. It's far and few between. You know what I'm saying? It's far and few between. So, you know what I mean? So you should definitely be proud. And sometimes you don't get that acknowledgement. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't care where you're at or what your nationality is, to be doing six figures only a year into the business. You know what it shows? It shows the desire to be successful, the work ethic, you know what I mean? And the tenacity. But here's the cool part, brother. Man, there's people that are making $100,000 a month selling cars a month. You know what I mean? Like the Ali Retta, the Cody Carters, the Chrissy Burtons, the Frank Cornettis. These people, are making things happen. Hey, attention dealers, this is a public service announcement. Have you really looked at your website spend? Look at every dollar that you spend for your website, your search engine optimization, your search engine marketing, your search engine marketing creation fee or management fee, your Facebook, your social media ads, your social media management fee, and all the APIs that you drive traffic to your website. That could be your credit app, that could be your trade appraisal tool, your digital retailing tool, your chat tool, your AI tool, whatever it is. Think about that. I know dealers that are spending $10, $20, $30,000 a month for their website and all the traffic to their website, but they're only generating like 50, 60, 80, 100 leads. If you do the math, the average cost per lead, $180, $250, $300 per lead, not per sale. And that's because they have a sub-sufficient website. If you have a bad website, a crappy website that has low time on site, high bounce rates, low leads, low clicks, etc., you need to upgrade your website. For a free strategy session, check out Dealer eProcess. Dealer eProcess is by far the country's top web development provider. They've got thousands of rooftops. They're not owned by a big conglomerate Illuminati company. And here's the cool part. They were invented by a dealer principal. Joe Gillespie, the founder and the owner of the company, is a former dealer principal. So talk to us. You made in a month over 10 grand. What was that like for you that month that you got that you realized that you made over $10,000 as a 22-year-old kid?
Yeah. So no, like I said, that January, I had just finished having my daughter. So it was January 2023. I'm starting off a new year. My mindset is straight. I changed my whole environment, mindset, everything, So I'm training, and like the first January, I think I did like 15, 16 cars. And I made I think I made like 8,000 that day, that month, And I was really excited. I kind of told a couple people, and they were like, hey, it's just sales. Like, you're gonna, next month is gonna be, the drought. Next month is gonna be, it's not gonna be the same. So I was like, I kind of got worried. I was like, yeah, like, next month I need to focus. Like I looked at that, I looked at that one check, and I like moved on from it. I was like, okay, I need to work on next month, right? So I started working on next month, and next month I think I did like 18, 19 cars, and I made like over 10 G's. I made like 12 probably, and then it was just I wasn't looking back ever since,
So let's go back to what you said, because I think that is a big mistake that a lot of salespeople do. They think that they're freaking, Jay-Z or some shit, or they're Beyonce. I mean, like you got like
it was the biggest check I've got in my life.
Yeah, and they're thinking it's gonna always be like that, and then
of course,
you don't prepare. So what did you do? Just out of curiosity, because I also know when you have a big check, the taxes come in and the government takes their shit. So we know straight up, if you made 12 grand, you're only coming home with 8 if you're lucky. You know what I mean?
If I'm lucky, that's right.
So then how did you budget yourself? Because I don't think this is talked about enough on the podcast or in our industry. How did you discipline yourself to not be Wesley Snipes and shit? You know what I mean?
It was kind of hard. I mean, just imagine, I was 22 years old. I have,
I know. My daughter burned through a ton of money.
$10,000. I've never made this much. I had some fun with it. I went on trips. I did like vacations. But then I put the rest away. I saved as much as I could, and I actually.
It's your daughter. Your daughter probably saved your ass.
Yeah. My daughter saved me.
Yeah, because diapers are expensive, bro. You know what I'm saying? Formula and stuff like that. So, man, if you keep it real. If you didn't have your daughter, you might have been in trouble.
Yeah, no, So I had it was looking kind of rough before my daughter and everything. It was, like I said, it was a blessing. Like everything.
Yes. It makes you grow up, bro, because you're not living for you anymore. It's bigger than you. I mean, there's this beautiful human being that is dependent on you not making dumbass decisions. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly,
like, for sure.
Exactly. I know I'm still a kid. I know that. And I still
but it's okay though. But it's okay to be a kid, but you got to be a responsible kid. So can you give some advice to new salespeople that get their big check, you know what I mean? And want to go fucking party and pop bottles. What is your advice?
If anybody gets their big check, I say you save it, just save it and put it away. Don't even look at it. Like if you don't need it, just put it away. I would say just save it. And then does your dealership let you disperse your money? Because this is something else that we don't talk about enough, but I want to talk about this because my daughters sell cars. Well, one of them now works for us, but one of them sells cars, and there's a strategy. So let's just say usually whether there's, the draw check and then you have the once a month commission check, or if you get paid weekly or bi-monthly or whatever it is, usually there's multiple checks. There's not just your weekly check. There's your commission check you square up once a month too. And if you get like your big commission check, what you can do is disperse those over a couple weeks, because, the government doesn't realize that you don't make $4,000 a week. If you have one paycheck that's got $4,000, they're going to tax you like that. So what some people do is they'll tell their accounting office, hey, look, I got $4,000 of commissions. I don't want it all in my next paycheck. Can you break it across my next 2 paychecks or next 3 paychecks? Have you ever done that, or did you just take all the money? I haven't looked at that. No, I haven't done none of that.
There you are, young blood. I'm trying to help you out.
I know. I get the draw and I get it spread out like that, but I don't.
No, but what I would do straight up up is I would ask to speak to your office
My county.
manager
Yeah.
or the payroll person, the controller, or whoever does the you cut your checks, and say, hey, listen, next time you know that you're going to get a fat check, say, look, I would appreciate if I don't get this check, all at once. I'd like to disperse it. I'd like to, break this over, the next couple months. Now, here's my thing. My wife is the accounting at my company. She just said to also let you know, can't repeat it.
You can ask them to make sure that the check detail says that your tax monthly. It's a monthly check.
Okay, so then, or what you could do is make sure that the accounting puts a note on there that the taxes are monthly. Is that correct, Karen? All right. Yeah, she's got like freaking 15 years accounting and
So the county has to go to my county lady, let her know that to put that I'm getting.
So again, because what they do, you got to think about it. I get it. This is no disrespect to any dealerships. They're just trying to do their thing. They've got to do payroll. They got to cut checks for all these people. So they don't have time to go in and modify stuff. You know what I mean? It's just cutting through payroll. So if you don't acknowledge that, the government thinks that's your regular paycheck. It's not your monthly check that needs to be taxed accordingly. So you could either disperse your check, or have it, or have your payroll department or your accounting or your controller make sure that it's specified that this is a monthly commission check and taxes need to be appropriated on a monthly basis, not just for the week. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah, I understand because if not, they would just tax it all the way, right?
Yes, exactly, which is what happens because you understand that there's different tax brackets. So the more money you make, the higher that you pay taxes. If you're in a certain tax bracket, it could be almost 50%, which is insane. You know what I mean? So if you make, let's just say you have, God bless you, have like a $20,000 month. I mean, can you imagine if they took $8,000 or $9,000 out of that? That shit is crazy. And especially if next month you have a draw check, that's what your people were talking about. And there's a lot of haters and there's a lot of people that don't know how to like work the system the right way, but they are right. If you don't have a strategy, blowing through that check. Like, I mean, this COVID situation, bro, really messed up a lot of people because there was ridiculous money being made. I mean, you work for Honda, I don't know, like for the last year. So I'm sure you're still making good grosses, but shit, a year and a half ago, they were selling, Accords for like, $5,000 over sticker and crazy shit like that. And used ones, you know what I mean? Over sticker. And so when you're making these fat ass things, what happens is when people don't have money or not used to money, they buy dumb shit. They buy things that are not valuable. They buy jewelry, they buy cars, they buy things that depreciate. So have you ever been trained on money and finances before?
I haven't, not at all. I need to.
All right. So I'm going to break down.
I do read on it. I do.
So there's a book. Have you ever heard of Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
Yeah, of course.
So did you read the book?
Yes, sir. I've read the book.
How long ago?
Maybe like a year ago.
Oh, good. So that's probably honestly one of my favorite simple books about financing. All you got to realize is that if you put two categories, for me, you're either pregnant or not pregnant. There's no half pregnant. You know what I mean? So two categories. You've got assets and you got liabilities. And that's the way that you have to discipline yourself into thinking is, okay, if I spend money on something, is this an asset or is this a liability? Is it going to make me money or is it going to withdraw from my bank account? And what happens to people that are not trained or don't like really understand money the right way, they buy a lot of dumb shit. Like, do you know what the two biggest reasons why people go broke or bankrupt or poor? You know what they are?
What?
Divorce. Be careful. And cars. I'm not even kidding you. Cars. Bro, think about it. Think about an Accord. Okay. How much is the MSRP on a fully loaded Accord?
Fully loaded Accord, like $39.40.
Okay, so let's call it 40,000. Okay, how much is that fucking car worth in 3 years? Hondas hold value, but approximately you're gonna lose. Now, before the pandemic, it would be about 50%. Okay, so before the pandemic, that $40,000 Accord in 3 years will have approximately 36,000 miles and would only be about 20,000. Here's the thing, though. If it's $25,000 or even if it's $30,000, you still lost 10 fucking $1,000,
Yeah.
$10,000 in 3 years.
Mhm,
And that's just
true.
on a $40,000 car. But if you think you're balling, you're big boy balling, and you buy a Benz or or a Mercedes, a BMW or an Audi or what have you, any type of highline car, it's similar. You know what I mean? Like I could turn around and have a $120,000 Maserati Levante, right? But in 3 years, what's that bitch worth? Okay. Even if it's 80 grand. Okay.
No,
So
right.
I'm out $40,000 for a depreciating asset. On the flip side, though, is if I turn around and bought a cheaper car and I wasn't trying to flex, you know what I'm saying? If I wasn't trying to flex, if I was going to buy a cheaper vehicle, because I know it's a depreciating asset, I could turn around and buy real estate. Do you understand that 90% of millionaires invest in real estate? Grant Cardone, who is practically a billionaire right now. I mean, he has like $7 billion worth of real estate assets under management. He has $120 million worth of air transportation, two helicopters and a jet. I don't know if this motherfucker's got a yellow submarine too. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But he's a car guy. How he made his money, and he tells everybody, is all the money he made in automotive, he invested that shit in real estate and multifamily properties and things like that. You want to turn around and buy assets. You know what I'm saying? So do you own your own home right now?
No, I don't.
Lease. Okay, that's fine. But look at this. Approximately, if you don't mind me, I'm gonna give you some free training here. So approximately how much you spend in rent right now?
About 2,000.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so 2,000. How long you been living at this place now?
I just got maybe like a month or two.
Okay, good. So now, but you have a lease. How long is your lease? 1 or 2 years?
1
year. Okay, so that means you're gonna pay somebody $24,000. If you stay there for 2 years, that's $48,000. If you stay there for 4 years, that's $96,000 you're paying. You know what you're doing? You are basically paying that man or woman's mortgage and probably a little profit. How do I know? I own a lot of real estate myself, and then people are paying my mortgages, and I just done some monopoly shit. You feel me?
I see it. Yeah, no, I feel.
So what you've got to do is, I'm telling you right now, the economy's starting to change.
Yeah. Okay. So you think I should?
What I'm saying right now is, listen to what I'm about to tell you, because this is a PSA. This is a public service announcement, not just to you, but to everybody listening to this message right now. The world has changed. If you look at it, the interest rates on mortgages are going down. Okay, there's more inventory. It's also in our industry that you have more inventory on your Honda dealership than you probably had in a long time. And there's your manufacturers put incentives on there. Your manufacturers are basically trying to make it more competitive, so more people want to buy cars, which means that dealerships are starting to discount cars. Dealerships are starting to compete. The challenge is that this is not the bottom of the market. The market is going to keep changing. And what I believe, it's going to go back to where it was. See, you don't have something. Let me just tell you this. I don't know if anybody in the dealerships told you this. You don't have perspective. You never sold cars before the pandemic. Bro, 3 years ago, Honda dealerships across the United States, they had to give cars away. You know what I mean? Like, they would discount thousands and thousands of dollars off of sticker. That is absurd now, but only 3 years ago, they used to do it all the time. Sometimes they would actually go under invoice. Oh my God, that's blasphemy. And so the challenge is, I'm not saying it's going to go back to those days, but I don't think it's going to be as flush as it is now. I think more and more inventory comes back. It's going to force more competition. So the two things that I want to give you as advice is, one, you should really keep training, invest in yourself. Educate yourself on two things, okay? Educate yourself on two things. One is your industry, the automotive industry. Master your craft. Learn, not just from me, but from all the people on this podcast, all the people in the group, all the automotive sales professionals out there. You should be looking at like Frank Crediti, who works at Piazza Honda. The guy sells 100 cars a month, just like you Hondas. How does he sell 100 cars a month and is a multi-millionaire car salesman?
Yeah.
Follow his Facebook page, follow him online, watch his videos. If you're on Bradley Demand, I have an entire course of Frank Crinity on my platform. You know what I'm saying? Like, master your craft and then learn how to build your brand. Learn how to get more prospects and more referrals. Let's talk about this now. Hey, LA, do you know that dealers are still suffering from inventory, from lack of inventory? I mean, again, the manufacturers are still not where they used to be with their new car inventory, which is putting a heavy strain on used car inventory. And so I'm telling you, dealers need to look at VINQ. VINQ by far is the absolute best software and technology provider when it comes to acquisition, trade-in, used car inventory, used car pricing. We call it the V-Auto killer. So folks, if you are looking to have the absolute best inventory software specifically for acquisition purposes, for pricing purposes, for so much more, just check out VINQ. As a matter of fact, VINQ is going to be a featured speaker and their sponsor for the upcoming Internet Sales 20 Group 15 in beautiful Baltimore, April 15th to the 17th. Your 20 plus cars you sell a month, let's just say 20, right? It's probably more, but let's just say 20. If you sell 20 cars, where do you get most of your deals right now? Where are the majority of your opportunities coming from?
Mainly phone ups or fresh ups, or
okay,
if
so stop. So let me just explain this to you. Okay. Do you know how many ways that a car salesperson could sell cars? I've said it a million times. How many ways? How many?
How many? Yeah, exactly. How many? I don't know exactly. I know there's a lot of ways.
Should. Okay, you're making $100,000 and you don't even know the exact ways. Let me break it down for you.
It's the end of July, well, the top of August. The Millionaire Car Salesman. All this week, we're gonna have some fire for ya. The best trainers out there, try us, homie. They used to call me the blindfold master, but when it comes to sales, I am just a natural. So if you kinda wanna be like me, then come and get some training from dealers in the G. Don't matter what time of day, man. If you wanna sell cars, well, you got like 8 ways to do it. And if you ain't stupid, then rewind the track and get this here glued in. First up is the walk-in customers, but they close at 20%. I ain't touching ya. Next up is the ones that beat back. That requires follow-up, believe that. Number 3 is the ones on the internet. You ain't winning yet, man. We invented that. Number 4, those are the ones that call in, but you don't get their name or their number. You draw
8 ways, right?
There's 8 ways. Yes, my G. So you had it. Yeah. So walk-ins, be back, internet, phone, prior customers, orphan owners, service conversions, referrals, and the lost art of prospecting. Now, here's the thing. What I heard you say is the majority of the ups that you're taking are phone ups and fresh ups. You are reacting to what the dealership is giving you. You're reacting to their marketing, their advertisement. And so you are at the mercy of whatever the dealership is doing. If the dealership has a fucked up month and there's no phone calls or there's no fresh ups walking through the door, you're going to starve. And you're going to be struggling to buy diapers, keeping it real. So what I want to tell you and everybody listening to this podcast is that the majority, not everybody, but the vast majority of successful people in the automotive industry are truly entrepreneurs. They don't need the dealership. They don't depend on walking ups. As a matter of fact, Ali Retta, Cody Carter, Frank Crinity, Chrissy Burton, they don't take fresh ups. They don't take phone ups or internet ups. They are 100% repeat business and referrals. Now, I get it. You've only been doing this for a year, so you don't have a huge book of business for repeat business. But what you can do is start to generate referrals. You could start to evangelize. You should start to market on social media, on TikTok, IG, Facebook, WhatsApp, whatever, YouTube. You need to turn around and go into the community. Can I tell you something? Man, if you listen to the podcast, Ali Retta, who you mentioned, has a Hispanic that works for him, Carlos Huerta. All right. The fucking guy is from the Middle East and he's so brilliant. He's like, you know what? I need me a Latino. He got himself, the salesperson got himself a fucking Latino. And in the first 12 months, he sold like 30 cars. In the first like 15 months, he sold 40 cars. He just sold, I think it was 65 or 69 units. The only way that Carlos Huerta sells cars is by working in the Latino community. He does all of the Latino parades. He does all the stuff with the radio station, with Telemundo, with Univision, all that stuff right there. And he's just immersed in the Latino community. And his whole thing is, look, I understand that when the Latinos go into dealerships, sometimes they don't get treated respectfully. Sometimes people take advantage of them and overcharge them on interest rates or this or that. Here's what I want you to do. Know that I sell cars. So whether you buy a car from me or not, all you got to do is let me look at your paperwork, and I could tell you for free if you're getting a fair deal, or if you are getting enough for your trade, or if you need any type of advice or what have you. Why am I doing that? Because I was born in fucking Mexico, and I had the blessings to be able to become successful and learn this industry. And I want to help every Latino that's out there. And if you understand that what you're trying to do is get the community to buy from you, you want the community to support you, what are you doing to support the community? And that's a rhetorical question, because if you are not in your tribe, in your, and it doesn't have to just be Latinos. It could be like, for me, I'm a parent. So and my kids do sports. One does wrestling, one does football and stuff like that. I do jujitsu. So again, I have, everybody has their different niches and their different clubs or different hobbies, their different, cliques of people that they associate with. You need to support your community, because the more you support your community, the more they're going to support you. But if you don't do shit for them, just wait for them to come into the store or call the dealership, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. I am telling you, young blood, what you want to be able to do is build your business within the dealership's business. You want to, for now, do what you can. Take as many phone ups as you can. Take as many internet ups as you can. Take as many fresh ups as you can as you build your network, as you build your book of business, as you go into the Latino community, as you go into the local community, into Houston. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. That way I'm able to build, like you said, build my own brand. Exactly. That's exactly the plan that I'm trying to do this year.
That's what's up. Okay, so how are you prospecting right now? How are you advertising and branding yourself? What's working?
Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp. Like I said, I get leads from OfferUp, and then I have Instagram. I don't post on it that much, but I need to start posting on it. I need to start posting Instagram, TikToks, and Reels and everything. That's the plan this year.
What you need to do, and this is just my humble opinion, right, is you need to act like you don't make $100,000. You need to act like you're fucking selling oranges, on the highway, bro. Like you're broke. You know what I'm saying? I mean, seriously, don't let this shit get to your head. You know what I mean? Because you should be very proud of you. I said that I'm proud of you. I think it's amazing what you've done. That's why you're on my show. I don't have basic people on my show. You know what I'm saying? So you are doing something good, but that's what happens when you get that little taste of good money. When you're comfortable, I mean, bro, you got a $2,000 a month crib. I mean, that's nothing. You're not in the projects. I mean, that's a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So again, you are obviously doing well enough that you're good. But that's the problem, is that there is a thin line between good and great. There's actually a great book by Jim Collins called Good to Great that says that good is the enemy of great. Why? Because people are like, you know what, man, I want to become a millionaire. And it's like, man, that's just too hard. You know what? Making $150,000 a year is not that bad. I mean, and then they start justifying, 3% of the population makes that. I'll be in the top 3%. I don't need to be the top 1%. And then they start lowering the fucking standards and lowering the standards and lowering the standards. And then, then you really are selling oranges trying to make a living.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
No, I've seen that happen. I've seen it. I watch it. I read about it a lot. I see it.
Stay hungry.
Yeah, I stay
hungry, bro.
This year, I'm looking for newer opportunities, newer everything. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to do double what I did last year,
Well, my advice is this. If I was personally coaching you, I would say begin with the end result in mind. It's January. Okay. So how many cars do you want to sell this month in January?
This month, I want to sell at least 30. I want to go for 30 this month.
Okay. So stop. So that's good. Okay. So 30. But then now here's the trick. I'm only 5'5", bro. I know that the Zoom makes me look tall, but I'm only 5'5". You know what I mean? I could turn around and say I want to be 6'3". That shit ain't gonna happen. That's all God gave me. You feel me? So you can't just say into the universe, I want to sell 30 cars, because you might not be built like that. You've got to have an action plan. How are you going to sell 30 cars? So you got to reverse engineer. Where are you going to get your cars from? How many cars are you going to get in from your carryover leads? Like you worked last month, you worked the month before that. So you didn't start January 1st with 0 leads. You probably have carryover leads. You've got beatbacks, you've got internet leads, you've got, phone ups that you're working. You might have other shit you're working from the receptionist, from referrals, whatever. So out of those carryover opportunities, before you worry about any fresh leads, out of the carryover opportunities, most people don't even know how many carriers. Watch this. I'm gonna put you on blast. How many carryover opportunities did you start with January 1st? Keep it real. Do you even know?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, so you're like my kid that you have a bunch of open bottles of juice and shit in the refrigerator, but you want to open up a brand new bottle. You're gonna push open the refrigerator, you're gonna move past 3 or 4 bottles of half drunk, quarter drunk shit, and you're gonna get a nice fresh ass glass. Like, here, do this. Put that shit back in the refrigerator and repeat the process. That's what most salespeople do. What I'm telling you to do is listen to this. This is in the Millionaire Car. Go rewatch our interview. Like, this is live right now in the group. After we're done, go play the shit back as a listener, as a member of the group. You know what I mean? And listen to the knowledge I'm dropping you. You need to start with this month. How many carryover leads do you have? And out of those, for example, if you got 50, 60, 80, 100 things that you've had that are 60 or 90 days old, out of those, how many should you close this month? I don't care if it's 5 or it's 6 or it's 10. Okay, great. So out of the 30, bink, 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 I already got X amount that are built in from the shit that I've been working for the last 60, 90 days. Now, after I have that number, then how many, and then just reverse engineer, how many walk-in spots should I do? How many beatbacks should I do this month? How many internet deals should I do? How many phone ups should I do? How many from the service drive should I do? How many from orphan owners? There's really no repeats. So how many from orphan owners? How many from referrals? How many from, straight up prospecting? Now you have a plan. So you kind of you take the 30 cars that you want to sell, reverse engineer where you're going to get them, and then you have a daily plan. Okay, so for today, how many people do I need to reach out to? How many phone calls, emails, text messages, how many whatevers do I need to do in order to be able to get my desired result? Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Yeah, makes sense.
Because I'm going to tell you this, if you've got a plan on how you're going to get to your numbers, you're going to be more successful. If you're just, I'm going to work hard, I'm going to take ups, good luck with that shit.
Yeah.
Are you tracking all your stuff?
Do I track all of my deals?
No, not just your deals, all your ups. You should be tracking
all my ups. Yeah, they're all in. I track all of them on my CRM.
Okay. Nah, CRMs are not the best for tracking stuff. So for example, how many days did you work? Today's your day off?
Yeah, today's my day off. Okay. So I worked I think like 2 days.
So you worked on New Year's Day on Monday?
I did work on New Year's Day.
Okay, so you worked Monday and you worked Tuesday. How many ups did you take on Monday? Where were they from? How many ups did you take on Tuesday?
Monday, I had an internet lead appointment that sold, and then on Tuesday, I had a fresh up that sold.
You're talking about sales. I don't give a shit about the sales. They're sold. I'm talking about the ups. How many opportunities?
How many opportunities did I get?
How many fresh ups did you take on Monday and Tuesday? How many phone ups did you take Monday and Tuesday? How many internet leads did you take Monday and Tuesday? How many referrals did you get Monday and Tuesday? That's my point. So how the fuck are you going to work this shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you ever going to enhance, tweak, modify, and achieve your goals? Bro, you're just reacting to shit, right or wrong?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You need to be more strategic. You're playing checkers right now. I'm going to use like a cliche, but you got to play chess. You need to think a couple moves ahead. You need to anticipate. You need to plan. You need to project. Then it'll be easier for you to achieve the success.
Okay. So start breaking it down, right?
I would drop the mic right now, but it's too damn expensive. This is a Blue Yeti mic.
Yeah. That was true though. I do need to work on everything.
All right. So while you have me, let's, I don't normally do this, but ask me some questions, brother. I mean, we're live on the air, but you have a high level consultant that's been doing this for 25 years in this industry at the highest levels in the country. How can I help you? What advice can I give you? What challenges are you having right now? In any capacity, whether it's process, it's strategy, it's word tracks, it's CRM, whatever you have.
Well, yeah, I mean, we can start off. I mean, like you said, the market is changing right now. So like, I'm not used to this market. I don't know the market. I just started a year ago. So I don't know. Is there any word track or anything you can help me out with the market changing nowadays? Like you said, there's a lot of competitors nowadays. There's a lot of, like great pricing and everything, and it's difficult, especially as a pre-owned. The competitors are really tough right now in Houston.
Okay, I have 2 different pieces of advice for you. Okay, one is you need to understand that car sales is a relationship thing. Okay, if you get somebody to like you, trust you, believe you, they're going to buy from you. Do you understand? If they're in the market.
Yeah.
Do you realize during the pandemic, most car dealerships were allowed to stay open, and all car dealerships, the service department was allowed to stay open because it was deemed an essential business. That's crazy when you think about this. Honda might be a dope ass product, you know what I mean? Which means for you non-inductive people, that means cool, right? It's a good product. The problem with it though is that it is not Honda, but just cars in general. It's not a luxury item. It's a necessity. You need to go to work. You need to go to school. You need to go to the grocery store. You need to drop off your kid at daycare, whatever it is. So a vehicle is an essential thing. So you got to understand that you're going to have people that need to buy a car. If you want to hack this, you need to get really good at communication and conversation. The more that you get comfortable talking to somebody, the more that you get comfortable having a conversation and getting to know somebody and being transparent, as crazy as that sounds, that's how you become more successful. You know, most people don't realize this, and I've said it on my show a lot. The number one reason why people don't buy cars, it's not price, it's not reputation, it's not availability. It's they're landed on the wrong car. So the skills that I would say that you need to focus on is qualifying a prospect. I mean, when you do a customer's needs assessment, you need to make sure that that is one of the best skills that you have. You know, again, you need to make sure that when somebody sits down, you know exactly how to qualify them, how to identify their wants, wishes, expectations. But here's the thing, though, you got to realize it's more than just the car. If I'm saying that car sales is a relationship thing, you want to find out about, you know, if you've got a man or woman, let's just say a man in front of you, you want to find out if they've got a spouse, a significant other, if they've got children. You want to find out about hobbies, birthdays, anniversaries, things that are important to them. Again, this is above and beyond the vehicle and what they're going to use the vehicle for. See, I find that a lot of times people just focus on the car. Nah, you need to see the bigger picture. How are they going to use the car? What is going to be purpose for it? You know, what are their interests and things like that? Because true or false, you don't spot everybody, right? You don't spot everybody. So what happens to the people that you engage and you don't sell? You have to follow up with them. Why are these people going to answer your calls or your emails, especially if they already came to your dealership? You've got to trigger the relationship buttons. You have to be somebody that they want to talk to, that they want to have a conversation with, that they believe that you are professional. They believe that you want to help them. They believe that you're going to give them, you know, the best deal. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Dealers, GMs, automotive professionals, video is by far the most powerful medium. I'm going to repeat that. Video is the most powerful medium. I mean, video email, video text messages, etc. As a matter of fact, Google prefers video more than anything else. It's the highest piece of algorithm content there is on search engines. Human beings prefer video more than reading, writing, talking, texting. So you should be doing video at your dealership, and the absolute best company to help you with your video strategies is Co-Video. I mean, their name has got the word video in it, Co-Video. So you better get some Co-Video. And as a matter of fact, you can see Co-Video at the upcoming Internet Sales 20 Group 15 conference, April 15th to the 17th in beautiful downtown Baltimore. That's right, Co-Video is going to be speaking and sponsoring again. So guys, if you want to upgrade your dealership's video strategy, automotive professionals, if you want to upgrade your video capabilities, invest into Co-Video.
That way you're able to, like, I do that with it's just like steps in the sales. So that this is called like part of the fact finding, you know? I'm fact finding a lot, and I like to like help solve problems for my customers. So that's what helps me close the deals and helps me, you know, get it done.
100%. I'm really impressed with your, you know, your story and how you achieved such, you know, amazing success in such a short amount of time. But I just want to reinforce that the best is yet to come. You know, I've been told this, and I tell everybody to listen, is that if you master your craft, like anybody else was trying to get a master's degree in engineering or in physics or a medical degree or a law degree, if you take this seriously, see, look around your dealership. Most people don't take this shit seriously. They don't, bro. They turn around. They're like waiters or waitresses. I don't mean that disrespectfully, because I used to be a waiter before I got into the car industry. I worked at a diner, like facts, way back in the day, like 25 years ago type shit. And so like, think about how like diners or restaurants or bars, they're waitresses and waiters, they come and go all the time, right? The grass is green. That's what it's like at a car dealership, because if they don't get instant gratification, they make excuses and leave and think it's going to be better somewhere else. The people that are most successful, they find a home. They find a dealership that they could establish roots in the community. They could start participating in the local events, the local activities, everything the dealership does, man. For Honda has charities, Honda has events. Man, I would talk to your dealership and say, put me on everything. Anytime you have an offsite event, any type of a sale, any type of a promotion, anything from Honda corporate, you want to do everything. Bro, did you see in our group a couple weeks ago, the dude from fucking Ford won a brand new? Mustang, right? Yeah, you saw that shit, right?
Yeah.
It's like the lottery. You got to be, my dude won for free. And it wasn't a lease. They gave him a brand new Mustang SUV because he created a freaking video. A video. I had him on the show. I was like, damn, my G, like, damn. But like the lottery says, you got to be in it to win it. But if you're like, I don't want to do this. This is stupid. This is a waste of time. Because that's what everybody says. I don't do that shit. I don't do that. Man, look, I don't know about you, but I'm trying to get to the Ali Redder level. I don't know about you, but I'm trying to get to the Cody Carter level. I don't know about you. I'm trying to get to the Chrissy Burton level. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, to do greatness. I mean, like, like look at great people like Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, motherfuckers. They were already multimillionaires. They won championships, but look at how hard they work. Look at how much dedication and respect to the craft that they did. I mean, there's so many people after Kobe died that really talked about his work ethic and how hard he trained, because he had so much respect for the game, and he wanted to be legendary. He didn't want to just be a player. He didn't want to just be rich. He wanted to be legendary, and he worked at that shit every day. So when you come into work, you've got to figure out, what am I going to do today that is going to make me better? What am I going to do today that's going to get me to that next level? If not, why are we here, bro? Think about this. Think about the fucking people in your country that are struggling, right? Think about how hard your dad has had to work his entire fucking life. And here you come in, make a quick 6 figures in a year, bro. You have an opportunity that most Americans don't have. You see what I'm saying? Do you know this? Right. The average American is 2 paychecks away from being homeless, not broke. The average American is 2 paychecks away from being homeless, bro. And here you are at 23 years old, murdering it. Bro, think about this. If you were able to do this shit in 1 year, if you dedicate your life, you dedicate your being to being successful, not just for the dealership, but for yourself. You said you have a daughter, right?
Yeah, we'll have my daughter here.
For her. You know what I'm saying? For your family. For your legacy, bro. I mean, God damn, you're 23 years old.
No, yeah, you're right. This is exactly why I wanted
in 1 year, you could have your first property. Let me break something down to you too before we have to exit. I got a hard stop at 2. We got another interview I had to do. You know what I'm saying? Is that a lot of people, Cardone talks about it. Again, I know that you have a daughter, but think about this. I would be looking at duplexes right now, like a duplex. Look at a duplex, and then, dog, this is the cheat code right here. You live in one of the units, and then you rent out the other unit. You could probably afford more than that, or your own nice house. Fuck that. No, you turn around and you let that working person pay the majority or almost all your mortgage. And that way, what you're doing is you're developing an asset. Every month that your tenant is paying that mortgage, do you follow me? You will have a reduced rent, but you own the building. And then after a couple years, you could move out into some other fly shit that you have and put another tenant. Now, by time you're 24, 25 years old, you have 2 tenants that are giving you passive income. Do you understand?
Yeah. I see it. That's actually the plan. That's actually the plan that I have this year. I have a lot of plans this year, and that's one of them. I got to get my first rental property this year.
Yeah, but here, look into a multifamily rental property. You feel me? Because think about it, man.
I have my realtor, and it's hard to find. It's hard to find.
Well, listen, you know what's hard to find? a fucking Mexican kid that's making six figures at 23 years old that came out when he was 8 years old. That's fucking harder to find in a duplex. Stop the bullshit, bro. Come on, stop the bullshit. You already are a success, right or wrong. That's harder than finding a duplex. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, look, I'm not the one to turn around and allow you to settle. You know what I'm saying? You've come way too far, way too soon to be able to listen to that bullshit. That's basic people shit right there. Again, it might be hard, but how hard are you looking? You're relying on that real estate agent. Are you on fucking Google on your breaks? Are you on Google at night? Are you on message boards? Are you on this? Are you on that? No, you're waiting for that person to do that. And think about it. The market is so crazy right now. They don't need you. You know what I mean? Like anybody will buy a duplex right now. So how do you got to think like a boss, think like a G. You know what I would do? Where is this real estate getting their listings? How can I get foreclosures? How can I get this? How can I get that? How can I do all that stuff? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. And that's how you look at it?
Yeah. Again, don't color in the lines, bro. You don't have to do shit the way that regular people do shit. You're not regular, are you?
No, of course.
Are you basic? All right, no, then don't act like it. Here's what I'm going to do. Before we ride out, I'm going to say this, is that I'm going to actually do something cool. I'm going to start doing this a little bit more often. I don't know if you know, but my 20-year anniversary owning Dealer Synergies in April. I have a major conference, celebrities from outside the automotive industry, professional athletes from the USC, like my people, people from Netflix and Vice TV are going to be there. I'm going to invite you as my guest to the IS20G conference in Baltimore in April. So April 15th to April 17th, I'm going to comp your tuition to go. So I'll have Tiana explain it to you, but you don't have to pay anything or what have you. So again, it's a 3-day training conference. I'm going to turn around and give you like a scholarship to attend the event at no charge. And 3 days of the best in the country, on every aspect of automotive sales, marketing, CRM, etc. Networking like crazy. There'll be a couple hundred rooftops that are there, bro. It's going to be lit. So again, I'm impressed with your work, and I want to give you a little bit of blessings and have you be part of the conference. All right.
I appreciate the opportunities. I appreciate everything. I appreciate the knowledge too. The most important part, the knowledge that helped me.
Hell yeah. Listen, again, you should be very proud, and I'm excited for your future. Keep in touch with us and post in the group, man. And if you're seeing something that works or a strategy works, just that's the only thing I ask to repay me, is that, bless other people with the knowledge that you're getting. Knowledge is power. Yeah. And if we just help each other, if we just help share successes and information, you know what I mean? This could make a difference. You know what I mean? That your dad, there's people out there that have all sorts of crazy situations, medical situations, family situations, and they rely on this podcast. They rely on this group like you did and you do to be able to, better themselves. All right.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much, son.
All right, take care, brother.
Yeah, good day. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So there you have it, the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast. This podcast comes to you every week from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. If you have a question about the show or would like the chance to become a guest, feel free to contact us directly at 856-546-2440 or email us at millionairecarsalesman@gmail.com. This program is a presentation of Synergy Records, produced by Tiana Mick and L.A. Williams. Production and engineering by L.A. Williams. The Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast is hosted every week by L.A. Williams and the Millionaire Car Salesman himself, Sean V. Bradley. The Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast can be found everywhere, so please don't forget to review, subscribe to, and share the show. Thanks for listening to the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast, and remember, where I'm from, money provides options.